Good evening, and welcome to Red's Classic Theater. History is full of bank robbers, but none may have been more likable than the pair in our movie this week. Hi, everybody, I'm Red Robinson. Paul Newman and Robert Redford star in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Now, the film was based loosely on historical fact, and later we'll look into the background of these real-life characters. Now, here's Act One of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Tonight on Red's Classic Theater, we're presenting Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. This is the last of a dying breed, the last operating drive-in in the Lower Mainland. Hillcrest has been entertaining families since 1953. And in addition to showing movies, the drive-in also hosts a swap meet at the drive-in. It's open every Saturday and Sunday through October. Come by. You may find yourself at Treasure. The casting of tonight's movie could be a story for a movie itself. In the beginning, Steve McQueen was the frontrunner to play the Sundance Kid, but he refused the role when Paul Newman wouldn't give him top billing. Screenwriter William Goldman thought Newman should play Sundance and Jack Lemmon should play Butch Cassidy. Director George Roy Hill eventually hired Newman as Sundance and Robert Redford to play Butch, but at Redford's suggestion, the two switched roles. So Newman became Butch and Redford became Sundance. Oh, my head hurts after that one. We'll be back in a moment. Hey, has anyone got an aspirin?
Well, that ought to do it.
So, just who were Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid? Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, was a former butcher and ranch hand. He earned a reputation as the Robin Hood of the Wild West because of his habit of splitting the take from his robberies with the widows of men ruined by bankers or cattle barons. Harry Longabaugh, better known as the Sundance Kid, was a ladies' man and gambler who belonged to the notorious Hole in the Wall gang. Now, it's said that Butch and Sundance never killed anyone in the process of committing their crimes, which made them popular with cowboys and homesteaders that they associated with. Now let's return to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Hope you're enjoying Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid this week on Red's Classic Theater. It's clear to see from tonight's movie that Paul Newman and Robert Redford had become good friends, and they also became chummy with director George Roy Hill. The three joked and drank together frequently during the making of tonight's movie. Now, perhaps the three were drawn together because they had a lot riding on the success of tonight's movie. Director George Roy Hill had recently been fired from two projects, Thoroughly Modern Millie and Hawaii. He needed a successful film to get his career back on track. Robert Redford, almost broke and running out of chances, needed the success of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid to boost his career. And Paul Newman, who was co-producer, had a lot riding on the project. Thankfully for all three, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was a success, earning 10 times what it cost to make and boosting the careers of all three. Now let's return to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is our feature movie this week on Red's Classic Theater. And time now for one of our ticket giveaways, particularly for those of you on Vancouver Island. On now through September the 4th at the Chemainus Theater on Vancouver Island is Lucy Maud Montgomery's Anne of Green Gables. Now, the Chemainus Theater has generously given us 12 pairs of tickets. By the way, one of those pairs includes dinner for two. Now, if you'd like to win one of these pairs of tickets, here's all you do. Call our TV12 contest line right now at 888-312-TV12. The first 12 callers will each receive a pair of tickets to see Anne of Green Gables at the Chemainus Theater. And remember, one lucky winner will also get dinner for two. That's 888-312-TV12 for your chance to win tickets to Anne of Green Gables at the Chemainus Theater of Vancouver Island through September 4th. As you continue to dial, let's return to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Hope you're enjoying Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid this week on Red's Classic Theater. According to tonight's movie, Butch and Sundance met their demise in a shootout with Bolivian soldiers. But there's evidence to suggest that Butch Cassidy survived the gunfight and returned to the United States. In fact, his sister, who lived until the 1970s, claimed that Butch lived out his life as William T. Phelps in Spokane, Washington. That's where she said he died in 1937 at the age of 71. And about the gunfight at the end of the movie, watch closely and count how many shots Robert Redford gets off without reloading. Now, movie trivia experts count 17. Now let's return to our movie. Time now to test your knowledge with our movie trivia quiz. We talked earlier about how Paul Newman and Robert Redford ended up with the leading roles in tonight's movie. But Warren Beatty had also been considered for the role of Sundance, but turned it down in favor of a role opposite Elizabeth Taylor. Now, can you name that 1970 film? We'll be back with the answer in just a moment. Time now for the answer to this week's movie trivia quiz. Warren Beatty turned down the role of Sundance in tonight's movie to play a gambler in The Only Game in Town. Now back to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Next Sunday night on Red's Classic Theater, we present what most fans think is the best film in the Star Trek series. Ricardo Montalban plays Kirk's evil nemesis in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. That's our movie next week on Red's Classic Theater. And that brings another week to an end. Hope you enjoyed Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. We'd like to thank everyone here at the Hillcrest Drive-In in Surrey for hosting our show this week. Hey, why not pile the family in the car and come out here and take in a first-run movie in the near future? It's a lot of fun. And also, don't forget, the swap meet takes place here every Saturday and Sunday through October. And the gates open at 7 a.m. Come and look for that collectible that you've been wanting. I'll see you tomorrow morning on 650 CR with the Wake Up Club, and next week here on Red's Classic Theater. Thanks for being with us from the Hillcrest Drive-In. Good night, everybody. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid on Red's Classic Theater will continue. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid on Red's Classic Theater will continue. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid on Red's Classic Theater will continue. This week on Red's Classic Theater, Paul Newman and Robert Redford are Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Sunday night at 10 here on TV 12. Tonight on Red's Classic Theater, Paul Newman and Robert Redford are Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Tonight at 10 here on TV 12. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid on Red's Classic Theater Sunday night at 10. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid on Red's Classic Theater tonight at 10.